It's couple for CC able for generate for government through tax. Well, waiting on the happen at NRA and save the plenty reforms that we don't happen. Now for sake of that make we get the Commissioner General and the program. But before we can talk about these reforms, the revenue collection, the things that NRA don't put in place, we want to congratulate you first because we've been seeing of recent inside July 30 this year, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres inside one press release be appoint you for like day part of the UN tax committee for one prestigious tax committee. For the that one for congratulations, ma.
Thank you. I'm glad for the appointment. And that appointment, they not so for me angry, now for the country, now for we all. I represent myself, and I represent Salon, and I represent NRA. So thank you very much for the congratulations.
So what do these appointments mean in tax? Because they appoint you for you the first woman, for be corrected, now the UN tax committee. Talking about tax and you know the Commissioner General for NRA in a Salon. What do these appointments mean in relating it back home in tax collection?
Well, first of all, the committee now we 25 today, and now the whole world. You get the continent of Africa. I think now we 6 common at the continent, if I'm not a mistake. And then you get other people them around the world. And waiting basically this committee they do, and the committee they sit down for 4 years. So waiting the committee they do now for make sure say we all come together around the world and see how we go able to address tax matters them. So, for example, the world don't change, and the world they continue for change, And one of the things where the committee they look at now, Extractive, the mining companies them, for just make sure say, especially the African countries them, because we get a lot of natural resources, and we don't realize say the African continent especially not they benefit much from what they get from underground, and we also get digital economy. Like where they at the interview, so people that they see me around the world, but we not a benefit from the digital economy as a continent. So this committee they come together, look at who side we go able benefit, whether not from the digital economy, whether not from the natural resources the more we get, and other things that really happen around the world. So they don't bring we all come together. The committee they meet twice a year. In the fall or October, we they meet in Geneva in person, and then in March we they meet in New York. So we they meet twice a year, but in between we also they meet for just make sure say we look at issues then where they emerge, and those then issue then they come up from the world. So right now, if we're not going to the website, now the UN Tax Committee website, they look for ideas, them problems, them concerns, them from the world. And then we will sit down as a committee for look at them and then see how we go able. So Salon get for benefits, especially because we know say we get mines, and we know I don't come with they talk all the time say we the benefits, but we know they really maximize the potential. So I'm glad for the day, and I go represent Salon very well, and then of course the continent of Africa.
So wish you all the best as the committee they begin for 6 October, and we hope say you go good things that we get for do Salon, and Salon go benefit
absolutely
in the area of revenue collection.
Absolutely.
So we continue now the program, and we don't say we'll get you in the studio. You don't come now. Waiting on the happen at NRA in terms of reforms them.
Plenty, and I'm glad for there again this morning. Say today na holiday, but we NRA with the work. 24 hours. I get me team. Then at the border, I get other people them around. So we work 24 hours. So I'm glad for there. A lot don't happen, and one thing where I really pleased about, normally in the rains, June, July, August, and September, and again in season. And we all know, say, things then can slow. Businesses then they slow, business leaders and they go vacation. A lot not can happen during the rainy season. But I'm glad for reports say July and August not also be not so bad. We they waiting and call with target, and this they happen as a result of the measures them we don't put in place. The last time I come, I report to Sofambu and say the first quarter be very challenging. January and February be very, very challenging. But I'm glad for reports say, the first half of the year from January to June, we not do so bad. We lost January and February, but we make sure say before the first half of the year, the end, we come in strong, and we don't continue for coming strong and stronger. And I hope and I get confidence say the third quarter is going to be as expected. And then of course, when we end and go into the fourth and final quarter, things can happen because at that time then the activities then they happen. We get holiday they come, we get people that they married, a lot of things they happen. So I pray God and I get the confidence say we will not only meet the target but surpass the target.
Okay.
All of this they happened because of the reforms them we will talk about later, and then the other measures them where they put in for just make sure say the staff are glad.
Let me come back into what we expect for collecting the first and second half of the quarter.
So the first half we know say the first quarter we missed with target by 15%.
What will be the target?
The target for the first quarter have been 4,618,000.
Okay.
And we
the
missed
first quarter is span from when to when?
The first quarter now from January to March.
Okay.
And the first quarter. So then we miss as I say earlier,
by 15%.
15%.
Okay.
When about like 674 million. And then they happen, as I say earlier, January and February being bad. So because
as
January
a result
February,
of voting,
a lot's happened, and coming to think of it now, and I will talk about that later. We find out later on in the year that people they divert with money. The staff them, the agents them, we would work with, and then the banks, of course. So where we don't look back now at the data, where we don't analyze.
So the diversion is responsible for the 15% loss of voting ability target.
Yes.
Just for be clear with the public.
Yes, absolutely. Because once we realize,
come again with the money we done for amount to that 15%.
The difference, the 15% is about 674 million.
That now in only use a billion we talk about.
Yeah, billions. Know, and the reason why I get the assurance say now because of waiting be they happen. Once we identify, we attack them, and then we block them, the revenue begin for come out. So I really get the confidence say and assurance say now because of that plus other things, but that is the primary reason. So things that don't begin pick up, and as I say, the second quarter was very strong, and because of what we do now the second quarter, now we come in strong for the first half of the year, and then July is okay, August just done, last week, this Monday we meet and the August figures came in very strong, and September don't begin. So the reforms that we don't put in place, now don't begin to identify some of the leakages them, and we will talk about that later. What will they do now customs, what will they do now DTD, we just make sure, and of course NTR, we just make sure so the revenue come out.
Talking about the thing they wanna don't put in place, they say reforms they make on able for tap their leakages them. For listeners them out there, waiting at the thing they wanna don't put in place the reforms for say NRA tap their leakages they don't the app on we make on able sometimes not able for meet on a targets them.
So automation, anytime working can I give you and I talk about automation. Because until we are fully automated, and then it will take time gonna process. For as long as somebody they touch money, and also just the NRA, any side in the world who say you get motorman, they touch money, problem go there. So the reforms that we don't put in place, and it not begin this year. It begin as far as me go remember, and I don't they are part of now 2019. So they automate with system. We know say at the domestic tax department, we get the ITAS where we don't roll out. And we continue for perfect time, and then at customs we get the Asikuda world, where we continue for perfect time. And this diversion, what they tell you, things happen within the Asikuda world, where we try for fix so much so that we get collaboration with colleagues them at the Gambia Revenue Authority, where they on the ground right now, where they help with team them for just make sure say then gets the capacity. Where it comes to the non-tax department, where in a department where we not really talk about very much, but a very, very important department, because that department they work with about 28 MDAs them. If you want to forget your passport, that department they help. If you want to forget your ID card, that department they help. So what we've been do about 3 years ago, we begin the process. We automate how you they pay. So we get the mobile app where I'm quite sure when I don't hear you, but so we don't so they automate and put systems in place for just make sure say taxpayers not only file on time, but then pay on time, and then the payment where they make they reach at the bank. Because we realize say, and again I talk about the January, February, we realize say yes, you see the receipt say the taxpayer don't pay, but then the money not be they reach at the central bank. So as long as the money not reaching at the central bank, don't pay. So they put a lot of reforms in place for just make sure say we improve the system, make sure say we make life easier for the taxpayer. Gone are those days that for make the taxpayer able to do them business and get for Canada NRA. They don't need to do that anymore. Although they still they do it because now they change, change management. When somebody don't use for do something, it not go easy for make people that habit they come up on. But we they work very hard for make sure say then understand. So you don't need for Canada NRA for do your business. You go do your business from the comfort of your home, comfort of your office. You get online, you file, you pay, and you follow that payment for make sure say it reach the central bank.
Of recent we see NRA don't they make the news. Usai ona be the HCC be the investigate one NRA workman Abu. Then we see NRA be go lock down go to the cement factory and other side them. So for we listeners then we go give you updates now we start first from Abu as well HCC be the investigator waiting at the latest.
Yeah. So HCC not be the investigate Abu. HCC be the investigate the NRA.
Okay.
Yeah, because like what I talk about the diversion, once based on the data, once able figure out from the data say money, the tax revenue not be the go who's I suppose for go. I put measures in place. I begin an administrative investigation internally first of all, and then I take the matter go CID. Because not to be only NRA be involved, the banks them also be involved. So I take the matter go ACC. Go CID. So whilst we did the bank associate where we can go where the bank can go na CID. Call name, say now this person that you in institution I be on they work with. So of course the ACC CID called for talk to Abu. Unfortunately, Abu be don't left the country. Within that week where they decide for call him for can't talk to him, he left the country. And then the matter, I guess CID transfer the matter to ACC. So ACC come not to Abu no more they investigate. It's the entire institution because even Mr. Bing then call me for interview, for just find out what's in the process, how will they do, what will they do. So based on what then get their own data, then realize say Abu na the main person. And me gets Billy say Abu na the main person. And the reason why I believe na the main person, because he gone away. And based on the press release we come out from ACC, then list all the things then we get. And surprisingly, manager, we don't work for the NRA for not more than maybe 7 years, able get all anything in there. Clearly, the show say something be happened with them, and Naina be the lead. But SEC don't do their own investigation, and they don't come up with the conclusion say na Abu. But me own still go on because not to Abu no more they look at the entire system. See waiting they happen, what are involved, and once I get me final report, if other people are implicated, the law will bet them. We internal law.
So it's NRA don't put in place for say then kind see not happen again. More especially where they talk say staff don't they work na NRA will not take that much long for acquire them kind property where ACC been pulling na them press release say na then stuff then they Abu gets.
Yeah. So the automation and systems and what they talk about. So for domestic tax departments who sign a deal we get ITAS, the system integrates with the bank. So when you pay, the assurance, get the assurance say, not 100%, we get the assurance say the money they go, now the transit bank. But with customs, we not get integration yet. So when you pay, when you do the process in the Asikuda world, you get for go to the bank for make the payment. And there is no connection between the Asikuda system and then the bank system. And at the game they play. So waiting we don't do, and waiting be they happen at that time will be they reconcile, we get reconciliation, and one of the control measures and we'll get in place. So we they do the reconciliation on a monthly basis. A lot will happen within a month. So waiting we don't do now, instead of they do the reconciliation between with system, the transit bank, which are the money they go before they go to central bank and the central bank, we they do that now on a daily basis. So where an importer or an agent do declaration at the system, instead of we wait till the month, end of the month for verify, we they do them the same day. Make sure say that money the way you don't pay, it don't go to the bank before you they continue with the process. Okay. So we don't put measures in place for just make sure say the reconciliation they happen on a daily basis. So we're not gonna lose track of the money.
So now we're talking about Dangote. We've been seeing on a go put a seal na the factory, and according to somebody who will be interviewed in charge of that department, they now that them they talk to them for say they can't pay, they don't meet the NRA. So how far with this? We're not open a shop back?
No, we're not open yet. And I want to just explain where we they seal taxpayer in office or in business. We know they just they grab overnight and do them. We don't seal ETSA earlier this year, and then we also seal SLRSA. Of late, other people in there where they seal, we're not too high profile, so none of the yagi bottom. Dangote now one of the businesses them where we don't close seal of late, and the reason we make we do that. Maritimes, now they the money they come out. We get the levy, the freight levy, where Dangote, where can bring investors and come. Now Maritimes they assess, and when they can assess, we know they just they grab and say, okay, today because they don't assess you, you not pay, we they go lock you up. Dangote no, and the Dangote in associate they no saying we go back and forth with the warn, with the course, with the advice, with the guide, with the talk, with they go back and forth for make sure say. The tax administration will not just they grab and say today will they do this to you. We don't depend this thing for over 6 months. Then lawyer then gets involved, then tell them say we could give them time, make them look at the records them for see what they don't pay, how they don't pay. We go back and forth and almost for 6 months. And because they not do what we want them to do, the final result that for lock them up. So we don't seal them and we want for them come at the table, make we negotiate. Once we come up with a payment plan, we go open their office. Okay. So now they will do. So not just a grab and lock.
Let me take a little bit back to where we start with regards to the collection. You talk about automated system I don't develop for a while now. We don't do it for make able for monitor how people pay and tax them. But even with this system, how comes NRA take between just January to March over 400 million diverted without with all the system I don't put in place?
I don't say 400 million diverted. I say for the first quarter,
we're unable to meet the target.
Yes, we're not able to meet the targets because of the challenges that we will get in January and February. We also other things then go responsible, but within me strongly believe that the money will be the loss.
And that's a suggestion.
Yeah, but not to 400. It could be more, it could be less, But again, the systems that we don't put in place now, they make sure say we will control and review and then put a stop to it.
For them money like that one answer the lost now institution like that one day. I mean we institution we supposed to be credible. It speaks a lot. I mean to the staff themselves who I get. What in NRA watch at before I begin for recruit people? In terms of morality and accounting and integrity.
So NRA make I just say that NRA na salon. NRA na salon and the recruitment process what they do is very rigorous, just like any other institution. But I just want to say that credibility and integrity, you get for born with them. Yeah. Where would they recruit? Would they make sure say all the boxes they're most supposed for tick? Would they tick them? But what thing we don't put in place for make sure say even if you come in and you not get morality, or you not get credibility, or you not get integrity, we they train people them because when you say they work and play with government money, and you're responsible for make sure say you collect and account for government money, you get forget the right training, you get forget the right culture, which we don't begin put into the NRA, and when we find out say you know they work and you know they deal as per the institution code of conduct, we fire you. Like Abu, once I realize say na ina the ringleader, before even ACC they come in with the young verdict or the own result from what they do, I fire them. Right now, I know they work for me. And as I say, once I get the results or the findings from the administrative investigation we are commissioned, whoever is found wanting will go the same way.
How many people lost their job as a result of this way this is so?
For this particular incident, only one person.
Not this incident to be specific. Entirely for those people siphon NRA money.
I don't know. I mean, I don't be Commissioner General for what, a year and a half. You know, this massive never happened. So, but I'm not going to tell you exactly.
But almost each and every year we get issues of this.
Yeah.
And they come back to on our staff for them.
Yeah, but you're not going just until you get evidence, right? Until you get evidence, like Abu. Once I get evidence in Nainduam, I'm not even a second thought. I don't even get the discussion. We fire them. And again, again, there's a lot of allegation until you get the data and you get the records in this person you're doing, right? Just like with ACC. ACC can investigate NRA for this incident, not to just Abu, but with all investigation within due, now Abu he points to. So they grab and say, okay, money they divert, now this person do one with the fire. No, you get to get the investigation going, right? You get to make sure say you get the records, you get the data, right? And then of course when the person is found wanted, you fire them. But me not say over time things have been happening.
One go and say Abu don't go. They don't take the money and this is not the country they lost. So which NRA don't do and how long this go to happen? You don't see that the NRA staff then cannot see if at the end of the day then go with the country money on a sack them. How long this go to happen at the commission?
Well, now for that I talk about the reforms that they put in place. Until the system is fully automated, right? Until the system, and it will take time because automation, NRA will put the systems in place for make sure say the internet not happen. But the entire infrastructure of the country, because for make we automate the system, we got to make sure say we get the right connectivity and reliable, consistent connectivity. We got to make sure say we get the light, electricity. So but until the system is fully automated, and not to just NRA, I continue to say this, any side who side money day, whether not NRA, whether not the banks, any side who side people in the top five that, I mean, you mentioned PAC.
Yeah.
Right. So PAC they come in for work with the NRA after an audit is done.
Okay.
Yeah. So like for 2023, we wanna see will be they go back and forth with PAC. Now after the Auditor General don't do the audit, and then their findings, for say this person get arrears, this person not file on time, or this business person do this, it do that. PAC they come in as a corrective measure. And NRA, we know they stand in for say not my PAC not do the work. We NRA in job now for protect the taxpayer because now we know the taxpayer, right? PAC not sabi the taxpayer. PAC they come in at the tail end, and many a times what we can tell when they work with PAC is for make we verify. Now mind you, where the audits don't happen, the audit they happen, the audit gets record as of December 31st. We don't know if the taxpayer don't pay January, February, or after that audit don't happen. When PAC they come, then they look at what don't happen as of that date. Okay. But many a times, still the taxpayer don't pay. And now we no more able to verify and confirm, say, after the fact, he don't pay. So now for that we can work with PAC for say, wait for we make we go confirm and see if this person don't pay. Because we don't want for make you go tax them again if you don't already pay. But we and the PAC they collaborate for just make sure say we no wound or we no punish the taxpayer beyond what's supposed to happen.
You don't talk about difference in them. Now we can now to on a target for 2025. How in time like waiting about a target on have been set.
I just also want to join Radio D for congratulating in advance. We darling Leone stars, and we know say they go make we proud, and we support them from here. So a lot they go on now the NRA, and I just want to step back a little bit before they come to the target. When they talk about the reforms, reforms not to just the systems that they put in place, even the infrastructure. I just want to make somebody recall. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, I've been in Gendema. Gendema now one of we big border crossings between Sierra Leone and Liberia. We get another border crossing between Sierra Leone and Guinea with Balamoya. And many years ago, the ECOWAS built a structure where Salon they share with Guinea. So Guinea customs there on one side and Salon there on at one side. And that building there, at least we on side, we don't really bad, So the current board will get, we can come and take a tour, and then identify places that we need for fix. So we're going to renovate that side there, and we're almost done with the renovation. But when it comes to Balamuya, we know one day gets building, we know one day get office. We get this small building where they don't at the swamp. And at that building there, NRA, immigration, the police, and all the other security forces then they share. So every time where it rain, like this is in season right now, the water they come. So it began to come out the building. So, and luckily during COVID, the health ministry been building container offices then. So now they will go catch. So waiting we decide for due where the board go waka, then say no, now we they collect revenue for the country. And the border now like the gateway, just like the airports na gateway. We not go get the border, Usai and I not get to the place with the catch. So 2 weeks ago, I go turn the sword for that new building. I continue them with the bill. So if when I pass by the border, maybe by December, when I go see a very nice structure where NRA go done, for just make sure say we get a comfortable sit-down place for we staff them. And the reason why to make I want for bring this camp to farm with them, because we not been get to office, all of the reforms and more we do, we not get on there. Like Asikuda, we supposed to get Asikuda and every customs crossing point, but we not been get we not get on agenda man. So with the hope say once we get this container office where they build, we go able to take Asikuda Buri. And I've been talking about leakages earlier. Because we not get a system yonder, it's very challenging for make we staff and control everything where they come in. So with the new office where they can get and making sure say we roll Asikuda go na the border, we will continue for improved revenue. The target for this year, where the Ministry of Finance revised, where they take the revised budget, as far as me concerned, 18.9. Because what's in me tell 18.9 billion. Not trillion.
In the millions.
Yeah, when they talk na millions.
When
they talk na millions.
Okay.
We not they go
back again.
Back and forth. Na millions. But what's in the ministry do because we missed the target by the 15% we talked earlier about 670 something. When they take the revised budget go, then bring the target down a bit. But for we internally, and I don't make the commitment to my supervisory ministry, say as far as we are concerned, we still they go with the old targets, that 18.9. Because with the push we save, the loss where we lost the first quarter, we go make sure say we make the gain in the last and final quarter, one of the fourth quarter. So with a push for make sure say all the measures that we don't put in place, whether or not the reconciliation what they do now on a daily basis, whether or not the fine-tuning of the systems that we will get, whether or not the integration of the systems that we will get, because if the systems that they stand alone, all of the leakages and what they talk about will continue. But with the work for make sure say the ITAS within a DTD, Domestic Tax Department, they talk to the system where they like customs, where they make sure say eventually where we not get too much control over that we own internal system, they communicate or integrate with the external systems. And like for example, the Accountant General's office, what would they do reconcile on a monthly basis? It's important that the IFME system we then get, we own system that integrates. It's important for make sure say we own system them integrate with the central bank, because the money what they collect now they finally end. So until we are fully integrated with all of the systems and move the work with, the leakages and what I don't talk about earlier will continue. But we'll make sure say we continue with the integration.
So less than 4 months for make this particular year come to an end. We can watch at how for I don't go with this particular target. We'll continue for those in the program as we go through too quick and take this commercial break. We the country again, Commissioner General, we talk about 18.9 billion new loans as soon target for this particular year. Before they go for that commercial break and later we take this issue, if we talk about how far I don't can't forget at this couple less than 4 months or 5 months to the end of the year.
So we just done August, just like we say. It's unbelievable that now 4 months don't left, and we don't begin September. I go say we based on the data we I received on Monday, we about 60% there, through August, and then of course normally December. The last quarter are usually the highest, one of the highest.
That's 60% if you put into money term.
We don't about 12, 13 billion,
Okay.
And counting, and as I say earlier, the third quarter normally is challenging when are July, August, and September because of the rains and then the slowness of activities, slowdown of activities. But July not been so bad and August not been so bad, and at the hope say we go end the third quarter on a very high note, and then going into December. This September the third installment for income tax, so we hope say we could begin for sensitize the business system for make them file and pay on time, so we will meet the third quarter targets. But a lot they happen in the space when it comes to meeting with target, because this year, as we all know, we know we get new taxes, so now compliance. So like where we talk about Dangote, that's all part of our compliance strategy. We make sure say we monitor, make sure say taxpayers and file and pay on time. So then go able, we go able meet with targets. So now compliance improvements now we don't do for this year, and the Minister of Finance don't do the revised budget. They don't submit the revised budget to Parliament, and there were no new taxes. So now the compliance improvement, whether making sure say within they happen, customs happen on time, whether if now DTD, as I say, the domestic tax, people then pay and file and pay on time, and then make sure say the MDAs them way we they work with and the reforms them we don't roll out to them. Things happen. So not just compliance improvement, because we know say things are very hard, so we don't want to bring additional burden to the business system. Although they talk on side this month with businesses then say, things they tranga because of the taxes. Not because of the taxes no more. A lot of other things that they happen around the world. Even from whose side they pull the businesses, they come. The goods then come out. Things that don't change. The transportation of the goods don't change. So a whole lot they happen. So we at the NRA, because the taxpayers and I will paddy them, they make sure we put things in place for making their lives easier.
So talking about the tax compliance, EKGs and all, so which area in where NRA they collect tax when I think say no say don't go well, and whose area don't decrease in terms of collecting tax?
So every year the budget with the Ministry of Finance they give they go up. So the tax they collect they ever go down. Okay. And so like for this year the targets where Ministry of Finance give it go up by 30%. Last year I've been 14 point something billion, and then this year it go up to 18, so it went up by. So every tax handle based on waiting with the project they happen that the economy, good or bad. And the reason we make they say good or bad, we do the target last year, especially for customs, because we the project say the exchange rate will go up, so we project say the goods that we get, the import duty will also go up, because the dollar they go up every year. Every so frequently. But the dollar don't stabilize for almost a year and counting. So because of that, it will affect we import duty, because we expect say it will cost this much. But because the dollar don't stabilize for the whole year and counting, the import duty not increase the way we want for making increase. But Wusai, we work very hard and we continue for put better systems in place. Now GST, the world all over, GST na day the money day, And the reason why to make us say na the money day, because GST na services, goods and services. Every year people that they go to a restaurant for eat. The hospitality sector, the boom. They get services them. So and that money they not to the business person in money. Now me and you with money, where would they go buy? The tax will they pay. Neither the GST. And the business person are just not a collecting agent. Collect that money there, and then at the end of the month, you pass them. So you hold that money there for 1 whole month. Other places then as they sell, as so you they pass. As so they collect, as so you they pass them. But for we own loan here, you they collect them, make money panam for 1 month, and then you pass them. And even at that, the business know they comply. So we they look for put better systems in place for make sure say we increase with GST. And now we hope say like other countries who sign a GST they collect most, we go hope say in the next year or so we collect more. Like in Rwanda, for example, 40% of the revenue where they come in now from GST. So we hope say with the measures and what they put in place, we go able to bring in more GST.
Okay, so let me look now at the mining sector, then key in collecting tax for government. Recently, we be hosting Minister of Finance when we did at the studio. So and talk say, even though with all the millions of dollars where the mining sector they get, a small couple now in the country they get as it's on back to tax and all that's in them. So in all this, NRA get concerned about this.
Well, not to NRA no more get concerned. I mean, I talked earlier with the UN tax committee, extractive industry, now a big concern, not only for Salone, for the world, the entire continent. We get other countries, them like for example Namibia, they make beaucoup money. Although the diamond rates don't drop, we get then fake diamonds and now what we get. But not only Salone. The mining sector, we get a lot of money from the license, because the license now for the big mining companies them now $1 million, and then they don't help with a lot. But when it really come to the royalties, then what would it get from the mining, whether not iron ore, whether not any other minerals, them we deserve to get more. But again, not because the mining companies, they know they dig or they know they export. Now they lost them. I talk on some side say, when they get bad mining, lost them. If you get a company where can invest, you get them a contract for 20 years. And you say for that 20 year, they pay income tax. They pay GST. You exempt literally from everything. Are you able to make money? So the only money what would they get now from the license and then the royalties. And even that royalties, then some companies they then get a contract. Usai, we virtually don't waive them. So we need for rethink and look at how we they contract with the mining companies them, because now a long-term contract. Yes, where business come, you want to get the space for make it go. But then me believe say after 5 years, after 10 years. Business don't go, it don't sit down. They don't begin make profit. Begin for pay taxes. So the mining companies and the extractive companies, we need to do more.
Okay.
Not only in Sierra Leone, but the continent as well.
In name na Geneva Bangua, in the Commissioner General and National Revenue Authority, now the program they talk about putting this particular institution they do so far for help collect tax on behalf of government. Now the program will go to do too quick and take this commercial break and we'll come with watch at another issue. We
go now we Facebook page and self with text line, because beaucoup messages then they don't come for the commissioner. The first one they say, when they come up from Macten and New Englandville, they say, what support system are available for taxpayers and how can they access online services like tax returns and tax clearance certification? Also, how can taxpayers resolve disputes or address issues with their tax obligation, and what process are in place for appealing NRA decision?
This other post from a Facebook page, they say NRA isn't working 24 hours. At the port, they work at the port they off before 11.
This
that na net they say.
this other one they say NRA need for put things in place for see say they able people know they run away with the country in copper, so like how this don't do.
This other person from a Facebook page also they say when a Mohammed side Dubai they say customs together with ports are making the process of taking container extremely difficult. They create unnecessary barriers and not in the interest of international best practice.
This one is say, Madam Commissioner, how can you ensure that GST paid by customer are transferred into NRA accounts or NRA, given the fact that you are not part of their various institutions, example, money from customer to orange money, etc.
This other person also they say the barriers and delay in fact create extra cost to importers and indirectly to the business sector and the final consumer.
This one from Joshua on Facebook, they say the clearing process is too slow with the bank's verification system. NRA have introduced it. It will take up to 3 working days before your payment is verified. By that time, the container have already go into duration, and the space provided by Port Authority and Freetown Terminal to examine container is too small for the amount of container they process every day. The scanning process also is another problem we are facing in the clearing process. There is a lot of problem in the ports to clear container.
This other person as Sanusi say they say NRA has a lot to do in tracking fraud payment in some institutions.
This other one they say NRA need for change the entire management thing down the key. If not, salon they go into tactic.
I think this other person they say kudos to the Commissioner General for educating the public this morning also.
And this other one they say all NRA really need for block the leakages them now the border crossing points them. They need for do them now Wataki. If they do them side and you go see the country not go they lost plenty couple so.
This other person from a Facebook page also when Edwin Johnny they say corruption has a direct and damaging impact on the transparency of the National Revenue Authority in Sierra Leone. Since the NRA is responsible for mobilizing government revenue through taxes, customs and other financial mechanisms, any corruption within it undermines public trust, weakens accountability and affects the country's overall governance. Here are the main ways corruption affects its transparency.
This was a police commissioner general wants you to improve and fast track the verification of payments as the importers are paying rent because the verification process is slow.
This other person are David Joseph Ali. They say how is NRA working with the security forces to curb drug importation in the country.
This other one they say bravo to Madam Commissioner. Thank you. We have learned a lot today.
This other person say this woman look consistent in her work. Continue to keep the consistency. Commissioner General. They come up from Kanu Ismail Lamin Sati.
From 077-981-981 line, they say, Madam Commissioner, thank you for educating the public and keep up the good work. But make sure say una block the leakages because salon they lost plenty couple wey encounter tax collection.
This other person, Abraham Kalone, they say, Madam Commissioner, how can you ensure that GST paid by customers are transferred into the NRA account or NRA given the fact that you are not part of their various institutions? Example, money from customers to Orange. I think you know be the that one. Sorry.
And when the final one here where they read from 077-981-981 line, they say, Madam Commissioner, waiting at the measures they don't put in place on how they employ people because year in year out we they see NRA people where they work now NRA can take the money and go at the end of the day NRA can say they investigate nothing we know they see then the country they lost plenty couple.
This final one for me, quickly. I think this one is enough for we staff for them like the democracy with this positive. Thank you very much to the democracy for the good news broadcasting to the country as well. Please continue to give the coverage as you have always been doing. Yourself one fortunately thank you for coming.
Okay.
Madam Commissioner will country, but again I advise you go or you're a team watch now with Facebook page because we get hundreds of comments and they will not be able to take call because of time. You go reply to some of the messages and we will be able to get out to you.
Yeah, you go continue, you go reply.
Okay, I just want to say thank you. I guess the 100 messages then count because it's in a holiday. So one thing I will listen to is, but I want to just say plenty thank you. The concerns are always the same around corruption, around leakages. around process slow, you know. So I just want for give Fambu them the assurance say it's a work in progress. We dey work on them, you know, we dey continue for improve. The support way we dey give taxpayers them. First of all, we get to the website where any information where you want on NRA, we dey provide them on the website. And then the support what would they give for the systems and we don't automate. We get to taxpayer education. And I'm glad for make Fambu they know say we've been getting assessment. The World Bank, the IMF camp assess we last month, then call them TADAT, you know, tax administration diagnostic assessment tool. And one of the things then we then give a thumbs up on, where we get an A. Now the facts say for the domestic tax department, anybody where they file now, that they file electronically 100%. Unlike in those days, they do a manual paper. So right now, all the filing them way taxpayers and they do now the domestic tax department now 100%. And waiting what they do for support the taxpayers them now education, and we get a team, you know, now with taxpayer services department units with the help if you get any problem. And I'm glad that person we ask that question, they so like say know about tax administration, because you go file and we go assess you, but if you're not glad or you not agree, you know, you could come back and say I don't agree with this. So we get a dispute resolution team. We go look at which thing you not agree with. We know they do that much because I guess Salomon if it's in a tedious process. So really I don't see, but suppose they come and say, I don't agree with your assessment or my assessment. But we work for improvement. Ports, anytime where I come, you know, NRA not to the only institution within a port. We get many port users them. And anytime where something happen, na customs. We in our customs, we they continue for work for improving systems. Two participants them talk about verification. And waiting at this verification, what did they talk about? Earlier, I talked about the diversion. Where they happen at customs, and it happen because they pay the money not they reach the government. Meanwhile, the container they come out. So this verification, where the team they do for make sure say before the container they come out, the money don't reach now we account. And you know, say anytime when you get a new process, it take time for make we get used to them. Me, they sit down there and give family the assurance say, I go ensure say we streamline that process day. Because they are very correct. If not 2 days, 3 days, it add to the demurrage.
Okay.
You know, so me go assure and give a commitment say, we go make sure say we fine tune that process day so it becomes a 24-hour turnaround time. We want to protect the money. We want to make sure say the importers then also no lost money in doing that. So I go give the assurance. Employment process, how would they hire? Just like any other institution. When you hire a person, you don't know if that person will be an active man, they get credibility problem, you know. You're not gonna know. Yeah. Now when you don't come at the institution, now you go know. But if you get the right culture and you get the right system in making sure say you make the person with the hire know say, I don't care what you do out there. But when you can now we own space. Now so we they do business. And you consistently make sure say they monitor. If sometimes will be they monitor the actions them properly, if we don't realize say money be they divert even way before now. So you go higher, but now waiting they happen at the culture and the system, the culture way they put in place. Even like when they born you picking them, you know, you get family. Not to all the picking, you get the picking where they make you happy, you get the other one where they give you wala. But when you know, say this one they give you wala, you put measures in place for discipline. So we will continue to do that. For the GST, we they put measures in place for collect GST. The drugs, we get a security system where, like the border, them not to NRA no more they work there. We get other institutions them for make sure say we identify, we stop or we control what's in the coming, not only at the borders but also at the key. We they work with ONS. We work with the military, the police. We get this committee where they meet once a month where they discuss issues them. So we work as a team, not to just NRA. Well, when it comes to collecting, as much as NRA now we get the mandate, but Sierra Leoneans then also get the responsibility. For example, the GST where they talk about, I don't talk over and over. where you go buy, just ask for your GST receipt. We're gonna one sure way down there for ensure say the money they reach to the government. And when you see somebody they do something bad, you say, as much as you know they work for the NRA, but you get the responsibility for say, no, what you they do, no, you don't undervalue me, or you don't underdeclare, you don't do this. We self get the responsibility as citizens, because that money they where you they pay. Now they come to government for make government take care of you. I don't hear again on the radio with people then they say where you go now Wataki, the money where they pay versus the receipts where they get, not to the same. What's it make me go get service, buy service? You give me receipts, not to the money you pay, and I accept some. Which means me said they're part of the problem. So we get for make sure say we as citizens, we enforce and make sure say NRA workman them, we work. With that, I just want to mention one thing before I get off the air. I almost forget. NRA they host, or the country they host, WhatsApp.
In Nando Buankam with the West Africa Tax Administration.
Yes. In 2 weeks, or maybe even less, we get about up to 100 participants already come on from out. Now West African, now the ECOWAS region, and even outside of the ECOWAS region, and then also where they can meet. And this is a good thing for not only the NRA but also the country as well. Few months ago, the vice president led a team for going to Seville, Spain, for go discuss how taxation or tax collection don't change, because the world all over, they tighten their belt. So then they tell we say, when self look within when self for make sure say when able to collect more money within your country. So what have they come for make we continue that discussion? We discuss domestic tax mobilization, how for strengthening the different institutions, and we'll get for make sure say we'll bring in more couple. So then they come September 15th to the 19th, and it's going to be very exciting. Where they can show not only the reforms that we don't do and how we raise money in a salon, but then also the culture and then the country. And so it's an exciting time. We will send the invitation to one as well. The media is welcome to come, and then we look forward to that time day. So it's a great news that I want to share with our listeners.
Okay, plenty thank you. We wish you all the best. Now that conference on again for all, and we know say it by the time they goes on, we go the can at the studio and continue for give updates to people waiting on the happen in the area of tax collection reforms, then NRA and other thing them. Plenty thank you for joining at the program today. Well, in the Commissioner General, na the National Revenue Authority, General Bangura, as in they talk about reforms them and the thing they were now you don't put in place for increased tax collection. Plenty thank you for joining at the program.
I'm glad for the air this morning.